Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. If you follow this channel, you know I bought a 2021 Ford F-150 with the Powerboost. This is the hybrid system, 7.2 kilowatt in the back. It's an XLT trim, with a 302A high package. Now, last week or thereabouts when this video gets published, I did a fuel economy drive where I did hypermile. I drove slowly, eco mode. I maximized electric driving. I tried to get the best fuel economy I could. Because when I drove this back from Michigan, I got not so good fuel economy. I got about like 17 when I drove it back. And that video on the hand calculation, I got like 29.7. Now, there's been a lot of concern about the video, like I should drive it normally and give me the fuel economy driving normally. And I agree, that video was all about hypermiling. So in this video, I'm gonna drive it normally, except I'm gonna do something a little bit different. And I may have to do another video on that same route, but turns out today is Aaron Turpin's birthday. Aaron on Autos, he's in Cheyenne. I decided I'm gonna go down and see him in Cheyenne. And so my plan is to fuel up at the same gas station I always use. I'm gonna drive down to see him in Cheyenne. I'm gonna turn around and come back. Cheyenne's like an hour and a half drive, so 100 and some miles. I'll put the information on the bottom of the screen when I get it. It's quite a bit of elevation change. The 70 miles an hour, 75 I think on I-80, even 80 miles an hour at times. So uphill to Cheyenne, kind of downhill coming back. There's an elevation change as you come back into town. So there's a lot of elevation change, a lot of speed. I'll be doing some electric driving because as you coast down these hills, sometimes you get electric driving. Kicks on when the engine kicks off, just stays in electric mode. So I'm running the heat, probably my heated seat on because I like my heated seats. So this is gonna be the true God, I can't talk this morning. True life driving, in that I'm just gonna drive it. I'm gonna drive it as I normally would, and I'm gonna report back the fuel economy that I'm gonna get. So let's go ahead and fill it up and let's get on the road. And I'll also talk to you about the lane keep assist, adaptive cruise, how I like to drive in this video. We'll kind of go to a lot of that stuff as I'm driving along. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, let's start with fueling this up. So you may recall in other videos I've done where you have to press the fuel door and then it waits and then it pops. So it's kind of a sealed thing. You can't just push it and have it open. It's sealed and pop. And for these videos, I've read the owner's manual, I've been online, I've checked the gas station. They all say the same thing: do not top off. So I'm not going to top it off. It creates problems with the evap system. It creates problems with the fuel system. So I'm going click to click. That's about as consistent as I can get. So let's go ahead and fill it up. Oh, and it's at 87 octane, which I always forget to say this in these videos, but and it's kind of my beef, there's no sticker here. It should be a sticker that says 87 octane, but capless fill, and we'll use 87 octane right here. It does have some ethanol. It's going to vary a little bit. $2.18, but I'm mostly full. This won't take very long. Okay, so I got it started. Like I said, I'm mostly full, so this may be a gallon or two probably. It's going to click here in a second. No, maybe I need a little more. Oh, there it is. So filled up, so let's go ahead and hit the road. Okay, so we're going to use this trip odometer. I'm going to go ahead and hold the reset button and reset. So it's totally reset. There's my fuel or my mileage. There's electric miles, because as you drive it, it uses electric mode as much as it possibly can. And there it is, all full. All right, here you go, driving 75 miles an hour, 5 miles over the speed limit, which is pretty average for me. I do have lane keep assist on, so that way it's helping me film a little bit. It's helped me turn the steering wheel as I'm going up the Wildcat Hills, if you know this area at all. So I'm going Wildcat Hills in 10th gear at less than 2,000 RPMs. So we just got going. You can see the clock's like 12 minutes. I'll try to get a little bit closer into this. So there you go, 12 minutes in the clock. And lane keep assist is on, and also adaptive cruise set at 75. So I'm keeping that within the distance of the vehicle in front of me. So a little glary this morning with the sun, but that's what it is. So I just want to give you an update on the road. Let's keep on going down the highway. Okay, just got the Cheyenne, and here's our trip coming down. You can see it on the screen. 107 miles, 17.6 mile per gallon time spent electric miling. So I did a lot on I-80, so there's very few electric miles. But typically I'm going to go back downhill from Cheyenne, and the wind's usually behind me. Oh, and again, it's 40 degrees, by the way, too. I forgot to say that. 40 degrees, not too much of a windy day. You can see that flag, American flag out there. It's not really blowing very much. So that's the temperature. That's the update. Go back to gearing here in a little while, and then we'll load up and just drive around town a little bit. We're going to go get lunch. So there you go. There's the update. All right, just got back from lunch with the birthday boy right over there. And I thought, hey, why not put him behind the wheel? He's an auto journalist. He has his own channel. So he's been driving it I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. What's your initial impressions of this truck?
I am really impressed with the power delivery. So getting on the freeway over there, you can feel, like, you don't feel the difference between the motor and the engine working together or not working, right? One or the other being shut off. It's just a smooth delivery of power from the 2 miles an hour going around the corner to 80 miles an hour once you hit the freeway. Yes, it's 80 miles an hour out here. We live in Freedomville. And then just how well the engine and motor are working with that transmission. Really, really smooth. That's really impressive. And then it drives like a Ford truck. So it drives like a sedan when you're in town. It's maneuverable and easy. So really, really impressed so far.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen this truck before, this is the XLT trim 302A high package. Bigger 12-inch screen. I have the Pro Power on board. I should do it. So Pro Power on board, I have a 7.2 kilowatt generator and this inverter. So I have power in the back, and it's generator and inverter. They're both. Zone lighting, I can turn off the lights around the cabin. I have a power flow meter, which is always cool to look at. So this is the power flow happening in the truck right now. Engine's on due to drive power, but it could turn off and just be battery only. And then I do have the digital owner's manual too. So cool features there. This is, like I said, you can only get this in 302A high package. I also have the column shifter. You do console shifter with a sport package and higher trim levels, but this is still the column shifter.
Very much, I like these a lot.
Yeah,
because it feels like a truck.
Yeah, it shifts pretty smooth though from that column. I mean, it's not like I've driven some other trucks that have a little hitch when you get into reverse or drive, and this one is a very smooth delivery of that.
You feel there's a pop between each one, but it's easy. There's no like grunt to get to the next one or anything like that.
Yep. So yeah, so again, lots of videos coming on this truck. I'm gonna hang out for a little while longer, then I'll drop them off, head back out the house. We'll fill up the same gas station, and I'll get you the fuel economy numbers that I got. And well, with him driving, we're not driving that much, so we're not being like crazy, rednecking crazy. So it should be pretty accurate numbers. So hey, I'll stay with me. We're gonna keep driving. Next video coming up. Okay, I thought I'd give a quick update. We're on the road here, heading back to Nebraska. Yeah, this is eastern portion of Wyoming. So you can see on the trip, almost 170 miles, 18.4 miles per gallon. But what I want to point out with the 18.4 is that has been climbing steadily. Cheyenne is, I think it's 6,000 feet, almost 7,000 feet. So it's a long drive up to get to Cheyenne, and then you come down the backside. So I expect that number to keep improving. I'm not sure how high I'll get. Again, this truck has the max towing package, 373 rear gears, 20-inch tires. It's not your base truck by any stretch of imagination that they do the EPA kind of testing with as far as that goes. So we'll see how far we get. Like I said, I 18.5 just clicked up. I anticipate it's going to keep climbing, but I'm well short of 24, and I doubt I'll get there, but let's see what happens. All right, now we're on the Nebraska interstate. So it's, or highway interstate, I don't even call these places. Anyways, 74 miles an hour, but I wanted to point something out, and I'm gonna get the camera a little bit closer. Closer there. Is I just figured out how to select the selectable gauges. So I have the boost selected. And this is a very, very important gauge. It's an important gauge for understanding how the truck uses fuel. So ideally you want this boost to be nothing. You want to have no boost, because as you add boost, you basically open up the engine and pour fuel down in it, and that's where you get the bad fuel economy. So, you know, if you go up a hill, like I'm going up the slight rise, this hill here, let's see if I see any boost here. No, but a lot of times you do. So let me get the Wildcat Hills, where it's got a pretty good sized incline, and I'll put this camera back on. I'll show you the boost I'm getting and how that's really, I mean, especially with these twin turbo V6s, that is the name of the game. That boost is your enemy. A lot of fun, but it uses a lot of fuel. Okay, so we're going up these hills right to there. How much it shows on camera, but kind of see we're up 19.1, which is, you know, what I kind of expected as you leave Cheyenne. Downhill, you're off the turbo. but we'll kind of make this turn here. Just gonna hold the camera just right about there, and then there we go. See that boost gauge pop on? So again, uphill. Boost gauge pops on. Boost equals fun. Boost also equals sucking down the fuel. So kind of coasting down here a little bit, and then we make a big turn. Kind of see that semi coming down. It's a pretty good size little turn here. So kind of go up, and then I'll change lanes. Car behind me is behind me a little bit more now, giving it some room. But yep, right into the boost. So I imagine we'll see this 19.1. We'll see if that drops a little bit. It should drop just a hair, because it's not a, yep, 19.0. Getting to the top of the hill here. We'll see if that drops. It may drop down to 18. Let's see if we get there. No, it's not gonna, it looks like it's not gonna drop, but get to the top of the hill. So yeah, there's the top of the hill. So next stop is the gas station, and we'll calculate these numbers on how many gallons we use divided by the miles, and we'll see what the true number is with hand calculation. Sorry, one more thing. I was surprised that this truck hasn't kicked off. So coming down this hill, as we come down through the pass, typically this kicks into electric mode. The engine turns off, and that's where you get some pretty good fuel economy boost. Like as far as you really adding that 19 mile per gallon number is really coming down and essentially coasting with the engine off. And I'm downhill. This is a descent down into the home area here, and I'm surprised that I'm still on the torque. As far as torque coming up, engine's still on. Usually, like I said, usually this kicks off. It kicked off on my mile per gallon drive when I was in eco mode. So I'm in normal mode now. Normal mode, four-wheel drive is not engaged. See, it's in two-wheel drive, and I'm in normal mode, but I'm not kicking off. So I thought that was pretty interesting. All right, time for some fuel. Putting the gas in. Probably take a little bit. I used about a half tank, it looks like. Again, 87 octane. Going in 87 octane. Go to click. Oh, baby, click. Spending the money. Putting the gas in. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. You can see the money like flying out of my wallet as I'm doing this. We're at 10 gallons. We're at 11 gallons. Still going. Okay, probably gonna hear that because the truck go by, but that clicked at 11.949. Let's go figure out what that is on trip odometer and on hand calculating it. Okay, back in the truck, we can see we have 234.5. And it says 19.4 miles per gallon. So let's take this. So we have 234.5 divided by 11.949 equals 19.6. And I have, let me get a little bit closer for the camera here, 19.4. So that's pretty accurate. A lot better accurate than the other video I did. So there you go. There is a trip to Cheyenne. I've done this trip many times. Cheyenne's a big city around here. I can tell you a couple things. Number one, I typically do not get the fuel economy numbers stated EPA for a couple reasons. Uphill the whole way, 80 miles an hour, usually into a pretty stiff wind. Wind blows from the west to east out here, and I'm usually going right into a big stiff west wind uphill. I have better luck with naturally aspirated engines and diesel engines. I do not have any luck on EcoBoost engines or twin turbo engines. You know, like I showed you in that video, when you hit that turbo and get that turbo going, just pouring down fuel, it just sucks that fuel up. So I usually have a lot of problems with that. So I'm not surprised to see the numbers. Sorry about that. I'm not surprised to see the numbers of fuel economy because it's kind of what I expected. It's a heavy truck into a wind, typically at that mileage. I think 20 is pretty good for the driving I did. That was not really in the electric mode at all and just stayed in the gas most of the time. Now, you're gonna argue with me and say 24 is what's got to be, and they got the numbers right at 24. but it's kind of some physics, guys. It kind of hurts it. Plus, 373 rear gears is not a good fan of fuel economy. But hey, that's what I got here. I will do more future mile per gallon tests throughout the summer, different blends of gas, different things going on. We'll see what happens as we keep owning this truck. So hey, check this video out over here. It's a good time. Website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.